Hi, I'm Jeremy Crosby.
And I'm Nick Boucher. We're your hosts for the program that's all about your city, Talking Fitchburg.
Every weekday, we pull together the news, events, and information you need to stay on top of what's happening in the city of Fitchburg.
Find Talking Fitchburg on cable TV, Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, and our live stream on the web. Plus, you can find all our headlines and stories on Facebook, YouTube, and our video on demand service. This is your city.
Keep up with Talking Fitchburg and the issues affecting you and your neighbors.
Want to know what's happening in your city? Get Notify Me messages from the City of Fitchburg. Visit fitchburgwi.gov on your computer or mobile device and select the big Notify Me button on the left. Enter your email and/or phone number, whichever is best for you to get notifications. Scroll down the list and select all the topics you're interested in to receive email or text messages about. You'll be notified every time one of your topics is updated. Sign up for Notify Me, one more way to keep up with your Fitchburg government.
Good evening. It's 5:30 on May 19th, 2025. I'm calling this meeting of the Board of Public Works to order. With me today is Don, Dave W., and Kim. Dave Herbst is excused today. Public appearances for non-agenda items. I don't see anybody in chambers and nobody's registered online, so I think we can move on. Item 3A, approval of the minutes. I would like a motion to approve the minutes of the May 5th meeting.
I'll move to approve the minutes for the May 5th meeting.
I'll second it.
Excellent. Any discussion? Seeing none, I'll call the vote. All in favor of approving the minutes as they appear in the packet, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? It is unanimous. Item 4, report from the Director of Public Works, Mr. Tim Volker.
Thank you. Good evening. A couple project updates for everyone this evening. I'll start with our Sain Road reconstruction project. Phase 2 is ongoing. Contractor Parisi is looking to start installing underground pipe next week. And then our Phase 3 project for Sain Road is still on hold. We're waiting for the change order cost. I believe Tracy at the last meeting updated you guys with the subgrade issues we kind of ran into in the marsh area of the project. So we have an idea on how to proceed, just waiting on the costs from the contractor for that. So a change order would be forthcoming on that project to move forward with it. Our 2025 street resurfacing project commenced construction this morning. So the contractor started doing some saw cutting of the concrete curb in the parking lot here at the City Hall campus. And then they anticipate having the concrete finished for that project done by mid-June. So all the curb and gutter driveways and speed tables for that project. And then they would actually start the asphalt around mid-June for that project. And then next up is our 2025 street maintenance project. That's our crack filling and chip seal project. We're looking to advertise that project next month. And then also I have our 2024 sidewalk replacement project. That's where the contractor remobilized for work that wasn't completed last year. All the concrete work has been complete on that project, and we're looking to have them complete the restoration work next week. So then that project would be complete. And then lastly, our Fish Hatchery Road water main replacement project. The construction commenced today on that project also. And we're looking to have that water main replacement project wrapped up pretty quickly within the next month. We should have that done. And with that project, there will be some lane closures associated with that work on Fish Hatchery. With that, does anyone have any questions?
Is Sain gonna get delayed And will there be a change order for the delay?
Yes, as part of that change order, not only will there be a cost associated with that, but some time too. So once we execute the change order, the time would also be incorporated into that project.
But you anticipate that it will still be done this year?
Yep, still looking to have it complete this year. I believe phase 3 was originally anticipated to be complete by the end of August. So we still have time with the weather and all to get that done.
So the 2025 street resurfacing, that is the Osmondson Road part of that, or is that like a 2024 that's a different project?
Yes, Osmondson is part of the 2025 street resurfacing project.
Okay. So you said asphalt will commence mid-June-ish?
Mid-June-ish. And I believe they're going to start on the City Hall parking lot, which is the senior center, and then we're also doing the library parking lot out here in front.
And you mentioned the lane closure. Do we have an idea as to when and how long we're going to have lane closures on Fish Hatchery Road for the water main?
Fish Hatch, let me see the durations. So they'll be closed starting today through June 15th.
Anything else for Tim? All right, moving on, we can jump to 5A, review of utility P card and check purchases. Any questions on the P cards and checks?
I just have one on the check number 128605 to CW-Green Bay, well 4 and well 10. Now that 41,000 covers both completely.
What was the check number again?
128605.
605.
Total of 41,168.26. That completion for the two, or we got more coming on that?
Let me take a look in. There might be some retainage still with that project, I believe.
All right. Thanks, Tim.
I had a question. I think I had asked about this in the past at least once. Some of the Hawkins P-card transactions have a project ID on them, and there's a couple that don't. Is that strictly a reporting issue, or are there ramifications if we don't see a project ID where there should be one?
So there is a PO that the city issued beginning of the year for the chemical purchase, which was for the water side of it. We have been purchasing a chemical for the Terravesa lift station to cut down on the grease that we have received, and that was not covered under the PO, so that's probably why you're seeing the number, the PO number showing up for wherever we make that water purchase, and it's hitting that PO, and then the chemical for the lift station's just hitting the operating budget.
Anything else? All right, moving on. I will entertain a motion to approve Resolution R8725, authorizing the water utility to file a simplified rate increase application with the Public Service Commission of Wisconsin.
I recommend we approve our 8725.
Motion to approve. Second, thank you. Okay, Tim, do you want to walk us through this? It sounds like we're maybe a little bit behind with our rate increases.
So the Public Service Commission of Wisconsin provides for a simplified rate case application process. The application for the rate increase will be filed no later than June 2nd, 2025, with an effective date of October 1st, 2025. The increase allowed is 3%. An annual increase is necessary to reduce the existing deficiencies in present water rates and to avoid large future increases. Looking for council to authorize the water utility to file a 3% simplified rate case with the Public Service Commission to be effective October 1st, 2025.
Questions on that?
Is there a time limit that you can do the simplified, for like 5 years before you have to go to the full rate case, or is it just depending on what the volume or the increase is?
I believe it is 5 years. Okay. In between the full rate cases, you can do the simplified.
Okay. And 3 is the maximum percent you can do on the simplified? Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And will that cover what we need?
Yes.
For how long?
A year.
The finance department looks at it on an annual basis, so whatever gets expensed, throughout the year versus, the revenue coming in from the additional customers, it gets evaluated every year, so that's going to fluctuate. Power costs go up to run our pumps. However, you do have more people coming in to help, offset that, those expenses. However, you are making more water as more people coming in, so it is trying to find balance every year to try to figure out, how much you need to keep up with inflation and higher expenses.
So if they were to decide they needed more than 3%, would they go to a full rate case before the 5-year period? Is that what you're guessing? Or?
I would believe that would be the case.
But if they're comfortable with the 3%, then they'll just go with the simplified.
I noted. I went and looked at the CPI data, and between April 23 and April 25, the consumer price index is up 5.7%. We last had an increase in 23.
No, I think that was just the full rate increase.
No, I'm just talking about
Okay.
inflation in general. Since the last time we had a rate increase, is up 5.7, and this is a 3% increase.
Well, I think didn't they? I think they did a simplified last year, so it was 3% last
right?
year.
I think so too.
Yeah,
Okay.
it said the last full rate increase was 2023, but the current rates have been in effect for only 1 year.
Oh, okay. I'll also note that Ellers did a presentation to the council last week and talked about our financial policies and everything. And one of the metrics that we are tracking is how many days of cash on hand do we have for each of our enterprise funds. And, the Moody's is looking for 250 plus days of operating cash. And they said that all of our utilities are in that range, and so we're safe. And Tim, so in the application, lines 9 through 12 are not filled in. Those would only be required if line 8 said no?
Correct.
Okay. Anything else?
Maybe just explanation from me, Tim. On page 3 of 4, it mentions the 3%. increase, but it also mentions public fire protection and wholesale rates will also increase by 3%. Is that across the board for everyone or certain locations or?
Yeah, so the city has a tiered structure, residential, commercial, and then public fire protection and even the wholesale rate value. So all our rates would increase 3% across the board through all our categories we have, all our billing structures.
Okay, that's just saying across the board everything's 3. It's not another 3%.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
If there's nothing else, I can go ahead and call the vote. All in favor of Resolution R8725, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. It is unanimous. Moving on to Agenda Item 6B, looking for a motion to approve Resolution R8325, approving purchase of 2025 1.5 and 2-inch meters.
I will make a motion to approve resolution number R8325, purchasing the 1.5 and the 2-inch meters.
I'll second that.
All right. Tim, walk us through this again and maybe refresh our memories as to how many total meters we've got. We've got a 4-year plan to replace them all and how long they last before we got to go through this again, that sort of thing.
Yes, the capital improvement plan includes funds to replace all 1.5 and 2-inch low lead meters over a 4-year period. This resolution approves purchase of 41 Badger E-Series meters. The Badger E-Series meters are ultrasonic. They have no mechanical components and are more accurate at low flows than our existing meters. There are funds in the budget for this project. Looking for council to authorize the purchase of the 1.5-inch and 2-inch meters and authorize $53,909 for this purchase, to be paid as outlined on the attached pre-approval form. So meter-wise in the system, we have almost 8,000 meters. Specifically 1.5 and 2-inch meters, there's about 400 plus meters. So that's what we were looking to replace over a 4-year period. However, we're looking to replace it faster just because we have a part-time master plumber on staff right now, and as long as we have his services, we want to utilize them and get those installed because it's a lot cheaper utilizing him versus having to contract that work out. So right now we're on pace to potentially finish this year, but most likely beginning of next year, which would be a year or two early from what we originally anticipated.
So I noticed that we had quantity of 32 in the purchase order, and it got backed off to 30.
Yes, so the 2-inch, we're looking to purchase 30, and then the 1.5-inch, we're looking to purchase 11. So a total of 41 for this purchase, and yes, we did back off 2 off the quote. Because that's all we needed at this time.
And what's the expected lifetime of these meters?
I believe 20 years.
Okay. Anything else? All right, I'll go ahead and call the vote. All in favor of resolution R8325, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It is again unanimous. Moving on to 6C. I would like a motion to approve resolution R8825, approving agreement for subdivision improvements in the Olive Tree CSM.
I motion to approve R8825.
I'll second.
Okay. Tim, this is pretty standard subdivision improvement contract.
Yes, so City of Fitchburg Common Council back on May 28th, 2024 conditionally approved the olive tree CSM. The land division ordinance requires the execution of a contract for the public improvements prior to the signature of the CSM by the city clerk. So we're looking for council to approve the agreement for subdivision improvements in the olive tree CSM subject to the final review by the city attorney and city engineer.
Questions for Tim?
Is it typical that it's a year between when the Common Council approves the CSM and then by the time you get this subdivision agreement, or is that unusual?
Little unusual. Typically you'd like to see it a little faster. For whatever reason, developer decided to wait on this. So we're kind of at the mercy of them on when they want to execute. So just this particular developer didn't execute right away when that CSM was approved back last May.
So when this came before council, there was included in the packet a letter from Bike Fitchburg asking that a multi-use path be put out along Rimrock Road, and that did not happen. And I see that coming into the CIP this year, there will be a project to have a boardwalk leading from the Cap City Trail at the McCoy intersection up to Anderburg. So I guess my question is, if we have, when that boardwalk comes in and then we've got, a partial trail up by Badger Rock School leading down to Moreland Road, eventually that whole trail ought to get connected. Is there still room to add that at a later date? Or, are the setbacks and right-of-way wide enough for that to happen eventually?
I think the right-of-way is tight there. It's county right-of-way, and I believe they were proposing along Rimrock a 4-foot sidewalk because it butts up against that right-of-way. So right-of-way would need to be acquired in order to do something.
Okay, I think in the packet it said replacing the 4-foot sidewalk with a 5-foot sidewalk. So there's evidently a little bit of wiggle room.
Yes. Yeah, it does look like existing is 4 feet and then 5 foot. Maloney Trail, complete with ramps.
Before they put 5 foot through, right? They aren't going to just at the edge.
No. Yeah, the 4 foot would be removed and then a 5 foot would be installed.
Instead of piecing it in.
Correct.
Yeah.
Other questions? All right.
Oh, wait, Tim, I was trying to figure out where exactly this was. Is this going to put extra pressure on other parts of our infrastructure downstream from here, such that we should be putting in some surcharge for signals and stuff?
The signals are existing, and they did a traffic impact analysis, and it didn't necessitate any improvements to the out on Rimrock. So this is on the corner of Rimrock and Maloney. There will be some curb and gutter going in on Maloney as part of this project to kind of urbanize that road. Right now there is no curb and gutter or sidewalk along there, so we will be improving the street as part of this.
There's 20 total units, so I'm not sure that makes an appreciable difference in total traffic.
No, I understand the theory is we wait till it breaks and then we say let's put it in versus incremental charging, not for the whole amount, smaller amounts for all these developments, because cumulatively that's when they load the system to breakage. So otherwise we're in this catch-up game of, okay, now let's come up with 50,000, 80,000 to try to fix a signalized intersection. So that's my thought and question is, at what point in time do we put smaller surcharges on all the developments so that Tim's got the money to do infrastructure improvements when he needs it. And maybe that's not Tim's question, it's more of a council type discussion to say, hey, Tim, why don't you start putting a little surcharge on all these, but.
Anything else? All right, all in favor of resolution R8825, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous. Moving on to 6D, looking for a motion to approve resolution R9225, approving first supplement and fourth amendment to the agreement for subdivision improvements in the plat of Highfield Reserve.
I so move we approve resolution R-92-25.
I'll second.
Okay. Take it away.
So there's two agreements associated with this resolution. The subdivider is proposing to subdivide lot 270 in Highfield Reserve into 2 lots. And the land division ordinance requires the execution of a contract for public improvements prior to the signature of the land division document by the city clerk. So that would be the first document would be the first supplement to the subdivision improvement agreement. And then the second agreement is the fourth amendment to the original agreement. So as part of the subdivider subdividing lot 270, the phasing plan for this subdivision needed to be updated. So the fourth amendment updates the phasing plan to show lot 270 being subdivided. So we're looking for council to approve the first supplement to the agreement for subdivision improvements in the plat of Highfield Reserve, and then also the fourth amendment to the agreement for subdivision improvements in the plat of Highfield Reserve.
And the fourth amendment is related to the subdividing of the lot? It's not changing any of the rest of the phasing or?
Correct. It's not, it's just showing that the lot was subdivided, but that the phasing remains the same number of phases.
So the zoning and everything is okay? Why are they subdividing the lot? Do you have any idea?
They are increased. So as part of the subdivision, there's 6 additional multifamilies going in.
There.
It's more to do with sewer. The south side of that flows to the, I'm gonna get them wrong. One goes this way and one goes that way. And so the north side flows the other way. And so we can't move forward until we get, and that pipe comes through on hopefully phase 6. So we can move forward with building 4. No change, and we did increase on, we had an ADR, oh no, the ADR is tomorrow night. We had a design change approved by Plan Commission 6 months ago. This is just, I don't know, ADR is tomorrow. This is a CSM. Does that answer?
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
So what was this lot initially?
It was originally planned as multifamily, and it will continue. Instead of 70, we've upped it to 76 by adding 6 to the main building. The north side will be 4 6-unit buildings, but we can't put a basement in until you have a storm pipe or storm sewer or sewer pipe, and we can't set the elevations, so we have to wait for the and Fitchburg won't let us connect without the middle part, I guess. I don't know where the.
And the first supplement to the subdivision improvement agreement captures the parkland dedication and park improvement fees for those 6 additional multifamily units.
Any other questions? Okay. I'll go ahead and call the vote. All in favor of Resolution R9225 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Again, unanimous. All right, moving on. Item 6E. Looking for a motion to approve Resolution R9125, releasing a temporary limited easement on Lot 2 of CSM 8023 at 2747 South Seminole Highway.
I will move approval of Resolution R91-25.
Second.
Okay. Tim?
The transportation project plat for the Lacey Road and Seminole Highway roundabout improvements was approved through Resolution R-40-22. This plat and associated amendments were recorded as document number 5821244 and documents number 5884824. The plat included a temporary limited easement on Lot 2 of CSM 8023 for constructing the Lacey Road and Seminole Highway improvements. The improvements are constructed and the temporary limited easement is no longer needed. Council were looking to have them release the temporary limited easement on Lot 2 of CSM 8023 with a physical address of 2747 South Seminole Highway.
Questions for Tim?
The easement was primarily needed for construction of the location, not for vision triangle or anything?
No, just it was a temporary limited easement just for grading purposes to tie back into existing.
So, and it's completely independent of any easement that MG&E requires, because those lights will be coming online shortly, I presume?
Yes.
Yeah, I drove through there the other day and I thought, they're still not out there?
Well, give it a couple years, right? I guess, when would we expect those lights?
I believe the service was installed. I need to check with Ross. He was coordinating a couple of those light poles we had an issue with, and Parisi was supposed to get their electrician back out there to fix. So I can check on the status of that and provide an update at our next meeting.
Okay, but we should be talking about days or ideally, or
Yeah, I would have actually thought they would have been on already because MG&E has installed that last remaining service.
Okay.
So I'll circle back with Ross and I'll provide an update at the next meeting.
Anything else for Tim? All right. All in favor of Resolution R9125 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous yet again. All right, we are done with our agenda items. Moving on to 7A, announcements. Our next Board of Public Works meeting will be Monday, June 2nd at 5:30 p.m. And Kim has made it known that she will not be available for the meeting. Mm-hmm. And I will be attending online rather than in person. Any other announcements? All right, I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
So move we adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor of adjournment, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, we are adjourned at 6:03 p.m. Thank you.